I never thought my life could feel so complete. Sitting at the dinner table, I watched Emily pass the salad bowl to Ryan, smiling the way she always does, and felt a strange sense of pride swell in me. "Here you go, Ryan," she said softly. "Eat some before it gets cold." "Thanks, Ryan replied, flashing that easy grin that always made people like him instantly. I forced my jaw to relax, though there was a twinge of annoyance I couldn't quite shake. It wasn't that I disliked him. He just had this way of making me feel a little less. "Alex, try the dressing on this," Emily said, leaning close to me. Her hand brushed mine, and I felt the familiar warmth. "You'll love it. You always do." I smiled, nodding. "You know me too well." My mind wandered for a fraction of a second, noticing Ryan's amused look, but I pushed it away. I didn't want to ruin the moment. "So how's work?" Ryan asked, cutting a piece of steak and leaning back. "Big deals coming through, or just the usual grind?" "Mostly the usual," I replied, forcing casualness. "Though I might be getting a promotion soon." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Oh, didn't see that coming. They must really like you." He looked at Emily, then back at me. "I guess good things happen to those who wait it out." His tone wasn't mean, but it had a slight edge. I nodded, trying to swallow my irritation along with my food. Emily leaned forward, her eyes bright. "I'm so proud of you, Alex. You work so hard, and you deserve every bit of it." Her words wrapped around me like a soft blanket, and I let myself relax again. I reached across the table and touched her hand. "Thanks, Em. Means a lot." Ryan cleared his throat. "You two are really cute. I mean, it's impressive." I forced a laugh, though I felt a tiny pang of jealousy. "Cute?" That was all he had to say. "I think it's more than cute," Emily said, her smile teasing. "It's perfect." She looked at me like I was the only person in the world. My chest swelled, and for a moment, I forgot about the little annoyances that hovered in the air. After dinner, I poured wine for us. "To family," I said, lifting my glass. Emily's hand met mine, and Ryan clinked glasses with us, a little too deliberately. "To family," he echoed. Later, I watched Emily and Ryan clean up together, laughing quietly. I felt a flicker of unease I couldn't name. It passed as quickly as it came, and I shook my head. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe I was overthinking. I sat on the couch, Emily joining me with her glass of wine. "Long day?" she asked, resting her head against my shoulder. "Yeah," I admitted. "But this makes it worth it." I squeezed her hand, trying to hold onto that sense of perfection. She smiled against my chest. "We're lucky," she whispered. "All of us." I closed my eyes, letting her warmth fill me, ignoring the tiny shadows in the corners of my mind. My life was perfect, I told myself. Nothing could touch it. Not Ryan, not work, not anything. And yet, deep down, a faint, unnameable feeling lingered. It was small, almost invisible, but somehow it was there. I was searching the closet for the winter coats when a thin envelope slipped out from behind a stack of old photo albums. "What's this?" I muttered, flipping it over. No name, just a stack of photographs inside. I pulled them out. My heart stopped. There was Emily, holding hand with Ryan. Not just friendly, like a couple. And there were 4 children with them, smiling, laughing. My stomach turned over. I dropped the photos onto the bed, pacing. This can't be real. Emily walked in, humming. "Alex, what are you doing in here?" "Shouldn't you be?" She froze, eyes catching the photos. "Where did you?" I held them up. "Care to explain this?" My voice cracked a little, but I tried to sound calm. Emily laughed nervously. "Oh, those? It's just an old family thing. Ryan's nieces and nephews, remember? From that weekend trip." I narrowed my eyes. "That many kids? And you holding hands? They're cousins. I swear. You're overreacting." She bit her lip, looking worried. "Really, Alex, you're reading too much into nothing." I wanted to believe her. Maybe I am. My chest tightened. "But why would you hide this from me? Why in a closet?" She stepped closer, touching my arm. "I didn't hide anything. I didn't think you needed to see old pictures. That's all." I stared at her, trying to gauge if she was lying. Her hand shook slightly. "Old pictures, just old pictures?" I repeated, my voice quieter, almost a whisper. Emily nodded, smiling. "Exactly. Nothing more." Later that night, my phone rang. Ryan's name flashed. I hesitated, then answered, "Hey, Alex. Just checking in. Everything okay?" His tone was casual, too casual. "Yeah, fine," I said. My mind raced, and I added, "You didn't happen to take any pictures of the family, did you?" There was a pause. "Pictures? Oh, just the usual. You know me. I like memories, that's all." I didn't believe him. Something about his voice, calm, unbothered, almost taunting. "Right," I said, hanging up. I tried to sleep, but Emily kept glancing at me, fidgeting with the blanket, her eyes avoiding mine. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yes," she said quickly. "Just tired, I guess." But she wasn't tired. I could feel it, the tension, the hesitation. "Emily, if there's something you're not telling me." I trailed off, unsure how to finish without sounding paranoid. She smiled, forcing it. "Alex, stop overthinking. Seriously, you're imagining things." I stared at her in the dim light. The photos still burned in my mind. My trust wavered, but I wanted to cling to it. "Maybe I am imagining things," I muttered, though my gut screamed otherwise. The next morning, I found myself staring at the closet again, as if the photos could answer themselves. I kept asking, could my wife really betray me? Could Ryan really? I pushed the thoughts away, telling myself it was impossible. Still, the doubt had settled like a shadow I couldn't shake. Emily kissed my cheek before work. "Have a good day," she said softly. Her smile was warm, but her eyes, they flickered with something I didn't understand. I nodded, forcing a smile. "You too." And for the first time, I felt a cold knot in my chest, one I couldn't ignore. I couldn't breathe. My hands shook as I held the folder I had found tucked in the back of our safe. Wedding photos, legal documents, birth certificates, all with Emily's name, all with Ryan's. "Emily," I whisper, my voice cracking. I barely recognized it as my own. "What is this?" She froze mid-step, a plate of food in her hand. "Alex, I slammed the folder onto the table. "Explain this." 5 years. Emily? 5 years of this. My voice rose despite myself. Emily's lips trembled. "I never meant to hurt you," she said, her eyes wide, glistening. "I never meant for you to find out like this." I laughed bitterly. "Never meant to hurt me? Do you know what you've done? You lied to me every single day." I was scared, Alex. I didn't know how to tell you. "I didn't want to lose you," she said, stepping closer, her hands reaching for mine. "Lose me?" I pulled my hands back. "You betrayed me. You weren't just hiding something small. You married my stepbrother. You had children with him." Emily's shoulders shook. "They're not. I mean, they didn't change how I felt about you. I love you too, Alex." "I do." I felt my chest tighten. "Love me? How do I even know what's real anymore? Every hug, every kiss, was it all a lie?" She hesitated, swallowing hard. I thought I could manage both worlds. I thought I could protect everyone's happiness." "Protect? You destroyed me," I shouted, pacing the living room. "You made me blind to everything. I trusted you. I trusted Ryan." Emily's face fell. I never thought he'd be like this." I shook my head. "Like this? You mean like a liar? Like a cheat? Like my worst nightmare?" Her tears spilled freely now. "I didn't choose it, Alex. I didn't know how to stop it." I sank into the couch, burying my face in my hands. All this time, all these years, I thought we were building something real. And it was nothing. She knelt beside me. "Alex, please. I can fix this. We can fix this." "No," I said, my voice raw. "You can't fix this. You can't unsee what I've seen. You can't unfeel what I feel right now." I stood, grabbing my coat. I need space." Emily's hand caught mine. "Where are you going?" "Somewhere I can breathe," I said, my words sharp. "Somewhere I can think without seeing your face or hearing your lies." She whispered, almost breaking, "I love you. I'm sorry." I shook my head, walking to the door. Sorry isn't enough. Outside, the cold air hit me like a wave. My mind replayed every moment. The smiles, the dinners, the late-night talks. Were they all lies? Was I just a fool? I called Ryan. My fingers trembled over the screen. "Ryan, we need to talk. Now." "Alex, hey," he said, calm as ever. "Everything okay?" I laughed bitterly. "Everything okay? Do you know what your wife's been hiding? Do you know how much you've ruined my life?" There was a pause. Ruined your life? I don't know what you mean. His tone was smooth, untouchable. Alex, calm down. We can talk this through. Talk, I shouted. You and Emily, 5 years. You had 4 kids. Talk. You've been living a lie while I trusted you both. Ryan's voice didn't waver. Alex, maybe you should take a step back. Think before you act. I hung up, my chest heaving. Think. How could I think when my world had collapsed in a single moment? Back in my apartment, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, reliving every memory, questioning every word Emily had said. Every smile, every promise, every touch, I doubted it all. I packed a small bag, clothes, wallet, my laptop. I didn't know where I was going, only that I needed to leave to escape this suffocating betrayal. Emily's voice echoed in my head. I never meant to hurt you. But her eyes had shown me everything she had meant to hide. I stepped out into the night, the city lights cold and distant. I felt a strange mix of devastation and clarity. For the first time, I realized the fragility of trust, the depth of betrayal. I didn't know what came next, but I knew one thing. I couldn't stay. Not tonight. Not with them. I had to leave. And I would. I slammed the door behind me, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the empty hallway. My bag was light, but my heart felt heavy, loaded with anger, betrayal, and disbelief. I didn't look back. Not once. The motel clerk barely glanced at me. Room for one night? He asked. Yeah, just one, I said, trying to steady my voice. I didn't want to speak. Words felt heavy, unnecessary. Up in the room, I tossed my bag onto the bed and sank into the chair. I could still see Emily's face, hear her words, her laughter, each memory twisting like a knife. I never meant to hurt you. Did she even know what she'd done? I stared at the ceiling until the door opened softly. Hey, a voice said. Liam. I had met him briefly at the bar down the street. A kind face in a world that suddenly felt harsh. You look like hell, man. Everything okay? Hell isn't even close, I muttered. I ran my hands through my hair. I found out everything. Emily, Ryan, for kids, 5 years, and I. Whoa, Liam interrupted, holding up a hand. Slow down. Breathe. I laughed bitterly. Breathe? How do I breathe when everything I believed in is a lie? He leaned against the doorframe. I get it. Betrayals, it's a punch to the gut. But yelling at me won't fix it. I'm not yelling at you, I said, though my voice shook. I'm yelling at the world. At them. At myself for not seeing it sooner. You saw it now, Liam said calmly. That counts. You survived the first blow. That's something. I sat back, gripping the chair arms. Survived? My life. I don't even know what's real anymore. Every dinner, every late night talk, every I love you lies. All lies. Liam nodded. People can lie, yeah, but you can still choose what to do next. You're not powerless here. I swallowed hard. I want revenge, I admitted. I want to ruin them the way they ruined me. He raised an eyebrow. And you will, or you won't. That's the question. Don't act like a blind fury. You'll destroy yourself too. Take your time. I ran through the memories, each one sharper than the last. Ryan's smirk when Emily told me she was just tired, the way he subtly undermined me in conversations. Emily's quiet manipulations, small omissions, smiles that now looked like masks. I could trace it all, every subtle move, every carefully hidden truth. Sometimes Liam said softly, it helps to talk it out, even if no one else can hear it. I've been talking, I said, my voice low, to myself, over and over, replaying every smile, every lie, every betrayal. I can't stop seeing it. Then write it down, he suggested, even mentally. Plan. Prepare. You're smart enough to turn this mess into something you control. I felt a flicker of clarity. Plan, yes. Not rage. Not impulsive moves. Careful. Strategic. Exactly, Liam said, smiling faintly. Anger's natural. Let it fuel you, not blind you. You'll get through this. I nodded, staring out the grimy motel window at the neon lights flickering in the distance. The night was cold, but it felt like the first step. I had a plan forming, small pieces lining up in my head. I would watch. I would wait. I would document everything, mentally cataloging every betrayal. Emily. Ryan. They had underestimated me. They had thought I was naive, oblivious, weak. But I wasn't. Not anymore. I closed my eyes and let the silence settle. Tomorrow, I would start rebuilding. Not them. Me. And when the time came, they would see the reckoning I had been preparing all along. I sat in the quiet corner of the cafe, laptop open, staring at emails I hadn't sent yet. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Do I really want to do this? I muttered under my breath. Sophie, across from me, raised an eyebrow. Do what? Expose them, I said, barely keeping my voice down. Emily. Ryan. My stepbrother. 5 years. For kids. Everyone who trusted me. Lied to me. Sophie sipped her coffee. That's heavy. It's heavier than anything I've felt, I said, clenching my fists. I want them to feel the consequences. But I also don't want to destroy myself in the process. She leaned forward. Alex, revenge doesn't have to be a storm. It can be a quiet wind. You don't need to make a spectacle. Just be smart. Strategic. I nodded, tried to absorb her words. Strategic. I like that. Small steps first. Sophie's smile was gentle. Exactly. Start subtle. Let karma do its work. Let them unravel without you screaming at the world. I glanced at my screen, imagining sending emails to Ryan's business contacts, dropping hints about Emily's secret life. I could hint, not outright say, just enough for them to wonder, enough to start questioning him. Careful, Sophie warned. You don't want to be reckless. Make sure every step protects you, too. You're the one who got hurt. Don't make yourself vulnerable again. I nodded. I know. That's why I'm thinking small. Quiet observations, strategic leaks. Nothing obvious. Document everything. Keep track. Let them slip. She leaned back. And emotionally, Alex, how are you handling this? You can't plan revenge if you're burning out. I laughed bitterly. Burning out? Yeah, that's exactly what I feel. Anger, grief, humiliation, it's all tangled up in a mess I can't even see through yet. Sophie's gaze softened. Good. Use that. But don't let it blind you. Keep your mind clear. You're stronger than you think. I stared at the window, watching people pass by, oblivious to the storms in my life. I keep replaying everything, I admitted. Dinner dates, late-night talks, even the way Ryan would smirk when Emily told me little lies. Every single thing now looks like manipulation. Sophie nodded. You see clearly now. That clarity is your advantage. Don't waste it. Plan carefully. Move silently. You don't need to rush. I opened a new document, typing bullet points, mentally cataloging every betrayal. Ryan's charm, Emily's careful planning, the way they hid everything from me. It all went down on the page. Step 1, subtle exposure. Step 2, documentation. Step 3, I'll see when the time comes. Sophie reached over, lightly touching my hand. You've got this. Just don't lose yourself in the process. I swallowed hard, my throat tight. I've been naive too long. But now, I paused, letting the words sink in. Now I have direction, patience, and clarity. I won't let them control the narrative anymore. I'll take it back. She smiled. Good. That's what you need. Calm, measured, and powerful. Let them crumble quietly while you rise. I nodded again. The thought felt satisfying. I imagined Emily's face when whispers reached her about what I knew. Ryan's confident grin faltering as subtle doubts crept in. It wouldn't be chaos, not yet. It would be calculated, controlled, just enough for the truth to seep through. And emotionally, Sophie added, remember to live too. Don't let this consume every part of you. Strength comes from balance. I glanced at her, grateful. Balance, right? I'll start small, move carefully, document everything, and let the truth unfold naturally. Patience, strategy, control. She nodded. Exactly. That's all you need right now. I stared at the screen again, my mind finally feeling a little lighter. For the first time since finding the truth, I wasn't just angry. I was ready to watch them stumble, ready to reclaim control, ready to turn the pain into power. And in that quiet cafe corner, I realized something else. This was no longer just about revenge. It was about surviving, and I was done being a victim. I watched from my apartment window as Ryan argued on the phone, pacing like a caged animal. His tone was sharp, forced calm, hiding panic. No, I told you the report was accurate. How could you look? I don't care what you think. I smiled faintly, letting my coffee cool. That subtle tremor in his voice, it was delicious. So fragile, I muttered. My phone buzzed. Emily's name. I hesitated, then answered. Alex, she said, her voice clipped, nervous. We need to talk. Can you come over? I leaned back, pretending casualness. Sure. What's this about? Nothing serious. Just can you come? I want to clear things up. All right, I said slowly. I'll be there in 20. By the time I arrived, Emily was pacing the living room, hands twisting a scarf. Alex, I've noticed some things, she said, avoiding my eyes. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, like what? Her voice wavered. People talking, questioning Ryan's decisions. Rumors. I don't know how. I smiled faintly. Rumors? I asked, tilting my head. Interesting. Yes, she said, flinching. And I don't know if it's... could it be you? I leaned against the doorway, calm on the outside, storming inside. Me? Why would I do that? Emily swallowed hard. I don't know, but things started after you left. I interrupted softly, almost whispering, Emily, sometimes the universe has its ways. Small nudges, little coincidences. Isn't it fascinating how truths have a way of coming out? She looked at me, panic in her eyes. Do you not? I shrugged, letting the silence speak louder than any words. She turned away, biting her lip. Later, I caught Ryan in his office, fuming over an email. I stepped in casually. Trouble at work? He spun around. Alex, what are you? How did you get in here? I smirked. I have my ways. You look tense. I'm fine, he said sharply, though his hand trembled slightly as he gestured at the screen. I don't know why everyone's questioning me. I've done everything right. I nodded slowly. Right? Or maybe people are just seeing things clearly for the first time. Ever think of that? His jaw tightened. You think you're clever? Always lurking, always watching. Observing, I corrected calmly. There's a difference. And it's amazing how small cracks can grow into walls. Don't you think? He stared at me, red-faced, searching for some edge. I let him stew, my expression casual, neutral. Inside, though, I was alive, electric. Each flinch, each harsh breath, each tremor in his confidence fueled me. Back at home, Emily called again, her voice shaky. Alex, people are noticing me questioning things. I can't keep it under wraps. Something's going wrong. I leaned against the counter, sipping water. Emily, sometimes the truth has its own rhythm. You can try to hold it, mask it, cover it, but it always surfaces. Isn't it interesting how fragile we all are? I don't understand, she said, almost begging. How are things unraveling? Why now? I smiled, almost gentle. Timing is everything, Emily. Some things just have to reach their moment. You'll see. You'll both see. I walked away, letting her panic echo in the line. My own chest tightened, not from anger, but from satisfaction mixed with guilt. Watching them falter, it felt right. But I reminded myself, patience, strategy, control. I was no longer the naive fool who had trusted them blindly. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, replaying every interaction. Ryan's arrogance, Emily's frantic attempts to regain composure. Every detail was a thread I could pull, every mistake a lever. My mind cataloged everything, plotting subtle nudges, quiet exposures. And in that quiet, I realized something important. Their unraveling wasn't just satisfying. It was necessary. For me. For the closure I had denied myself for so long. The storm outside mirrored my inner world. Calm on the surface, but electric beneath. I didn't need to shout. I didn't need to fight openly. I only needed to wait. Observe. Let karma, guided quietly by my hands, take its course. And when the time came, Ryan and Emily would finally see what betrayal truly costs. But I would remain untouched, controlled, and ready. I sat in the corner of the restaurant, hidden behind a half-empty booth, watching Ryan flail. He was on his phone, voice tight, sharp. I told you the numbers were right. That report was accurate. I smiled faintly, feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and something heavier, something I didn't want to name. Finally, I whispered to myself. Emily appeared at my side, eyes wide, lips trembling. Alex, please, I didn't think this would happen. I didn't. I let her words hang in the air. You didn't think? Really, Emily? She dropped into the seat across from me, her hands clutching the table. I'm sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. I thought we could keep it hidden. I shook my head, staring at her. Hidden? 5 years for kids, and now public humiliation? How is hiding supposed to work when everything collapses? She looked down, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't mean to hurt you. I love you. I swear I do. I clenched my fists, feeling the weight of every lie, every careful omission. Love me? You call this love? Emily's gaze rose, tears spilling freely. Please forgive me. I can't lose you, Alex. Not like this. I leaned back, letting the moment stretch. You've already taken so much. Forgiveness isn't about me anymore. It's about you facing what you've done. At that moment, Ryan's phone fell from his hand as he realized the board at his office had seen everything. A call recording, an email chain. I had planted nothing, yet watched carefully. Karma, subtle and precise, had done its work. He looked around, his face pale, voice tight. Alex, what did you do? I shrugged, come on the outside. Nothing. I just observed. Sometimes the truth has a way of coming out. Ryan's old watch, the one I had given him years ago, caught my eye on his wrist. A symbol of trust, of brotherhood, now meaningless. My chest tightened. I remembered the moments I had believed in him, trusted him, and it made my stomach churn. Emily reached for my hand. Alex, please. You can't just leave it like this. You can't. I pull my hand back gently. I'm not leaving it, but I'm not the one unraveling. That part, Emily, that's on you. Her tears fell onto the table. I never wanted this to hurt you. I was just scared. I didn't know how to fix it. I let the words sink in, the bitter truth settling in my chest. Fear had ruled them both. Their arrogance, their lies, their belief that they could manipulate me. They underestimated the consequences. Ryan's voice cracked. Alex, please. I'll fix this. I swear I'll. I shook my head slowly, my throat tight. Fix it? Too late, Ryan. You've already shown who you are. And now everyone else knows it too. Emily whimpered. Alex, can't we? I can make it right. I'll do anything. I exhaled a long, steady breath. No, you can't erase the past. You can't erase the lies. And you can't erase what I feel. I glanced at Ryan one last time, the arrogance stripped away, replaced with panic and regret. The realization that I had been the careful observer, the one who had remained intact while their world crumbled, it filled me with both satisfaction and a quiet ache. Revenge didn't fix the hurt. It didn't erase betrayal, but it revealed truth. I stood collecting my coat. This ends here for me, not for you. You'll have to live with what you've done. And I'll move forward. Emily reached for me, but I shook my head. I can't, Emily. Not tonight. Not ever. As I walked out, the night air hit me, cold and clear. The restaurant lights faded behind me, but their echoes, laughter, lies, betrayal, lingered in my mind. I let them linger, not to punish me, but to remind me. Some things can't be forgiven, only understood. And for the first time in years, I felt free. I stepped into the quiet room, the tension thick enough to choke on. Emily was seated on the couch, fingers twisting the edge of her scarf. Ryan stood by the window, arms crossed, jaw tight. I took a deep breath. We need to talk. All of us. Emily's eyes widened. Alex, please. Can't we just? No. I interrupted, my voice steady but firm. We can't. Not until I say what I need to say. You both need to hear this. Ryan's smirk was gone. His eyes flicked toward me, wary. Fine, he said, voice clipped. Say it. I began slowly, carefully, each word deliberate. 5 years. 4 children. Lies. Hiding everything from me. Emily, I trusted you. I believed in us. In you. Her eyes filled with tears. Alex, I never wanted to hurt you. I love you, I still do. Please, let's work this out. I shook my head. Love? You call this love? This is betrayal. This is deception. And it's over. I can't come back from this. Emily's lips trembled. I can fix it. I'll do anything. We can make this right. You can't, I said, voice low but unwavering. You can't undo the past. You can't make me unsee the lies. And you can't make me unfeel the hurt. Ryan's face turned red. Alex, this is ridiculous. You're blowing everything out of proportion. We didn't mean. I stepped closer, cutting him off. Don't you dare speak for her or for yourself. Every choice you made was deliberate. Every smile, every excuse, every manipulated truth, it was all intentional. You knew what you were doing. Emily gasped, tears spilling. Alex, please. I was scared. I thought I could handle it both ways, and You thought? I asked, voice rising slightly. You thought you could betray me for years, and it wouldn't hurt anyone? You thought I wouldn't notice? That I wouldn't find out? Ryan looked away, jaw tight, pride faltering. Alex, we didn't expect. I don't care what you expected, I said, calm now, sharper than before. Expectations don't matter. Actions do, and your actions have consequences. You've lost your moral ground. You've lost me, and that's something neither of you can fix. Emily sobbed softly, reaching out. Alex, please. I can't lose you. Not like this. I held up a hand. Stop. Don't reach for me. Your remorse doesn't undo the years of lies. It doesn't erase the trust you destroyed. I've been hurt, humiliated, and manipulated. I will not return. Ryan's voice was quieter now, almost broken. Alex, I'm sorry. Truly. I let the words hang in the air, feeling a strange mixture of pity and detachment. Sorry doesn't change the past, Ryan. It doesn't restore what's been stolen. You'll have to live with it. Both of you will. Emily whispered, brokenly, Alex, I wish I could take it all back. I shook my head slowly. You can't. You can only learn. You can only reflect. And maybe, someday, you'll understand what trust really means. But for me, it's done. Over. I will move on. I will reclaim my life. There was silence. Only the ticking of the clock filled the room. I could see the weight of regret settling on their shoulders. Emily curled slightly into herself. Ryan slumped against the wall. I glanced at the watch Ryan still wore, the one I had given him years ago, a symbol of brotherhood and trust, now meaningless. I let my gaze linger for a moment before turning away. I loved both of you, I said quietly, more to myself than them. And love doesn't justify betrayal. I've learned that the hard way. But I've also learned that I'm stronger than the pain you caused. That's what matters now. My life. My choices. I took a deep breath, straightened my shoulders, and walked toward the door. Emily called after me, voice small, pleading, Alex. I didn't look back. Goodbye, I said, and stepped out, letting the door close behind me. The cool air hit my face, and I felt a clarity I hadn't known in years. Pain didn't vanish, but I carried it differently now, like armor, not chains. For the first time, I realized I was free. I sat at my desk, the sunlight streaming through the window, and finally felt a sense of calm I hadn't known in years. My laptop pinged with a new project email, and I smiled. All right, time to focus, I muttered to myself. Sophie leaned against the doorway, a cup of coffee in hand. You look lighter, she said, tilting her head. Like you're finally breathing. I am, I admitted, running a hand through my hair. It's strange. After everything, I feel like I can actually think clearly. Like I can make decisions without fear or anger clouding them. That's growth, she said simply, setting the coffee down. It's what I've been telling you. Pain teaches us, but it also frees us if we let it. I chuckled. I never thought I'd hear myself say that. Pain freeing me. Sophie smiled knowingly. Trust me, you've learned the hard way who deserves it and who doesn't. Now you get to rebuild on your terms. I leaned back, staring at the sunlight dancing across my floor. You know, I spent so long relying on others for validation. Emily, Ryan, I thought my happiness depended on them. And Sophie prompted. I exhaled. It doesn't. I can feel joy on my own. I can laugh without guilt. I can sleep without dread. She grinned. Welcome back to your life, Alex. You earned it. Over the next few weeks, I immersed myself in work, picking up projects I'd been too distracted to tackle before. Each completed task felt like a small victory. One evening, my supervisor called me into his office. Alex, he said, smiling, your recent strategy saved the quarterly report. Clients noticed. Well done. I nodded, a small smile tugging at my lips. Thank you. It feels good to be recognized for my work again. Back in my apartment, Sophie stopped by one evening. You've made new friends, reconnected with old ones. You're really doing this, she said, taking the photos on my wall, the books stacked neatly, the little plants I'd nurtured. It's strange, I admitted. I feel lighter. Free. Like I'm finally living my own story instead of someone else's plot. She laughed. That's the point. You've rebuilt yourself piece by piece. Now enjoy the view. I sipped my coffee, letting her words sink in. Memories of Emily and Ryan surfaced briefly, but instead of anger, I felt reflection. Pain had taught me lessons. Trust must be earned, not given blindly. Self-worth cannot rely on others. And heartbreak, as cruel as it is, can transform into strength. Later that week, I went back to my hobbies: guitar, late-night runs, photography. Each note I strummed, each step I took, each picture I framed reminded me that I could create joy on my own terms. One night, while reviewing photos I had taken, I laughed aloud at a candid shot of Sophie and me at the park, both of us soaked from the rain. I forgot how good it feels to laugh without fear, I told her later. She nudged me playfully. You deserve it. You've worked for it. I nodded, feeling gratitude deep in my chest. It's more than that. I feel whole again, not because I've erased the past, but because I've learned to live beyond it. Sophie smiled, and that's exactly the kind of strength most people never find. I leaned back on the couch, looking out at the city lights. For the first time, I wasn't chasing someone else's life, their approval, or their validation. I had my own rhythm now, my own purpose. Small victories, clients praising me, friends laughing with me, the feeling of strings under my fingers. Each was a thread weaving me back together. Each reminded me that I could thrive, that I could find happiness without needing someone to define it. And in that quiet moment, I realized I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living, truly, freely, fully. For the first time in years, I felt home in myself. I walked up the familiar driveway, the house quiet, almost abandoned, the garden overgrown, the swing in the yard creaking faintly in the wind. Memories hit me like waves, laughter, dinners, late-night talks. Emily's smile, Ryan's confident grin. I closed my eyes. Alex, a voice called softly. I turned. It was Sophie. You okay going back? I nodded slowly. I need to see it, to finally let it rest. We stepped inside. Dust lingered in the corners, the smell faintly of Emily's perfume, long gone. I ran my fingers along the countertop. I remember us here. So many nights, thinking life was perfect. Sophie stayed silent, letting me speak to the ghosts. I trusted them. I believed in them. I loved them. And they used me. They stole years. A soft crinkle sounded. I looked down at the floor. An envelope had slipped from the mail slot, yellowed and worn. My name on the front, Emily's handwriting. My hands trembled. I opened it. A letter. Her words careful, deliberate. Alex, I don't expect forgiveness. I only want you to know I regret everything. I was selfish, blind, and cruel. You deserve better. I hope you find the happiness I couldn't give you. Emily. I folded it slowly, reading it twice, then set it aside without a word. No tears, no anger, just calm, quiet closure. It's over, I whispered. Sophie touched my shoulder. It's hard to see the end sometimes, even when you know it's right. I nodded. I've spent years chasing answers, feeling rage, feeling helpless. Now, I feel ready to move forward. Not because I forgot, but because I choose not to let them hold me anymore. We walked through the empty house. Every creak of the floorboards, every faded photo, every echo of laughter was a reminder of what I lost and what I survived. I still remember dinner with Ryan, I said quietly. His smirk when Emily lied. I thought I'd never forgive myself for trusting him, for trusting both of them. You forgave yourself eventually, Sophie said softly. That's the key. The rest is just history. I paused at the living room window, staring at the overgrown yard. It hurts. It always will, I think. But it's different now. It's not sharp. It's a weight I can carry without falling apart. I've learned the difference between pain that destroys and pain that teaches. Sophie smiled faintly. You've rebuilt yourself, Alex. Stronger, wiser, free. I took a deep breath. I have. And I won't look back. Not at them. Not at the lies. Not at the regrets. This house, this life, it was mine once, but it's not mine anymore. And that's okay. I'll make a new life on my terms. We left the house, the door closing softly behind us. I glanced back one last time. The walls, the garden, the echoes, they were chapter now. Closed. Not forgotten, but no longer controlling me. Later that evening, I sat alone, thinking. Emily's letter still on the table. I didn't pick up the phone, didn't reply. Silence felt right. I didn't need her words anymore. I didn't need closure from her. I had found it within myself. I opened my laptop and started drafting a project proposal, focused entirely on the future. Emails, plans, ideas, small victories of life I was reclaiming. The past had shaped me, but it wouldn't define me. A soft breeze blew through the open window. The city lights glimmered in the distance, alive and promising. I smiled faintly. I'm ready, I whispered to myself. Ready for whatever comes next. Alone but not lonely. Strong because I survived. Free because I chose to be. I closed the laptop, sat back, and for the first time in years, I felt the weight lift completely. Emily and Ryan were part of my history, not my future. The letter lay unopened by my side, a symbol of their regret, but also of my independence. I let the night settle around me, peaceful, quiet. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't trapped. I was alive, and I was ready to live fully, freely, without anyone else controlling my story. For the first time, I truly felt whole.